Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's a match preview of West Ham United against Norwich City. We're here to talk about the Hammers and we're here to talk about the Canaries. Gonzo, as always, what's your thoughts on our opponents?
They've done very, very well. They've spent little or no money. You alluded to the fact earlier on in one of our many shows that Karen Brady had criticised them, said they were going to need to spend lots of money if they came up to the Premier League, and their director of football has said, no, that's not how we do things here at Norwich City. So they've got an ethos, they have a really good, solid way of playing. They've come up, what's his name, Daniel Farker, and a very, very good manager with a really good philosophy. They lost to Liverpool in their first game, but I thought they looked pretty damn decent in that game, mate. And of course they got the lad up front who's just scoring for fun, and lots of good young players. Very impressive, Jim.
Bez, what about yourself? What's your thoughts on Norwich City?
I mean, they've come up from the Championship. I mean, they're giving it a go, aren't they? Which is all they can do, really, because they're probably tipped to go straight back down once they come up, as most Championship sides do. But yeah, like you say, that Pookie up front, he's quite tasty. I can imagine him getting 10 to 15 goals quite easily this season. But again, for me, they're just a good Championship outfit. I would be very surprised if they weren't near about down the bottom by the end of the season. So, I mean, going into the game, we should win comfortably, in my opinion.
Well, I'm a bit different to you, Bez. Before the season, I gave them as a prediction finish of 14th, and I'm going to stick with that, going by what I've seen in the first three games. I think they were unlucky against Chelsea, they did okay against Liverpool. Teams will go to Anfield and look a lot worse than Norwich City did. I like what they do. I like the way they play. I like the way they set up. I like the fact that they're coming up, and if they do go down, they're going to go down in a blaze of glory, playing the Norwich City way that they have been when they came up, and they're not compromising anything. They've come up and they're ready to box with the Premier League teams, and there's going to be a few come the end of the season. I think there's going to be a few Premier League clubs looking at Norwich City thinking, wish we played like that, and I think they'll do all right this season. Gonzo, do you think Norwich City will stay up?
Yeah, comfortably. I mean, the manager's key here. Well, there were three positions that were really key, which is obviously the manager, the director of football, and the head of the academy. Now, we've actually pinched one of them, not the manager or the director of football, of course, but when you've got an ethos running through the club, it really, really helps. It just things remain consistent. We've seen it before for years with Southampton. When they were producing their young players through the academy, each manager was the same as one of the other. You saw it with Swansea, and it was actually when they strayed away from that and actually got the American investors in. Hugh Jenkins took a backward seat, and they started getting different managers that didn't match their ethos. They started to slip away. So if you've got an identity, if you've got a way of doing things, then you're going to do absolutely fine. And I often wonder when teams play sort of pragmatic, defensive, dour football, your Tony Pulis type tactics, if you like. I always wonder if they are, but I think when you're going to be adventurous like Norwich and you're going to score lots of goals, and they clearly are, with Pookie up front, who's the new Jamie Vardy in that respect, then I think they've got every chance to stand up. Well, not every chance, I think they will. They absolutely will stand up.
Bez, what about yourself? You sort of alluded that you might think they're in a relegation battle, but do you think they'll stay up at the end of the season?
I'm not confident they will. I think they'll be there on or there on abouts. I mean, you know, Norwich have come into the Premiership and they're in their little bubble at the minute where they're going out and giving it a go. But once they lose a couple of players through injury, I think you will see a difference. I think, like, you know, it's a big buzz. When you come up to this big stage, you start attacking teams. But, I don't know, get 10, 15, 20 games into it, and I think you'll start seeing the big difference in established Premiership sides to what Norwich are. Look, I'm not saying that there's other sides in the Premiership that aren't as bad as them. And, you know, they did... In the second half against Liverpool, they were no disgrace. They did get beat by a weak and Chelsea side. I know, all right, Chelsea's side is good. It should be good enough. But I don't know. I think also you need a little bit of luck as well. You know, unfortunately, Chelsea went and beat them. They scored 2 goals, which usually should be enough at home. But I just got a funny feeling that over the time and over the season, I just don't think that... I mean, you said 14th. I mean... that's wishful thinking for me, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, you got yours. I think it would be nice to see him finish 14th. It'd be quite refreshing. I'm not saying I dislike Norwich because I don't for whatever reasons, but I don't know. If Pookie got injured for 4 or 5 weeks, would they be a different side?
Yeah, of course they would. But I think if Yolentin got injured for 4 or 5 weeks, Newcastle United are bang in trouble. If Zaha gets injured for 4 or 5 weeks, I think Crystal Palace are bang in trouble. They are established Premier League sides. I think Norwich need a little bit of luck, but I always say to Gonzo that if you're conceding a lot of goals, you can still stay up as long as you're scoring a lot of goals. But if you're not scoring goals, you're in trouble. Even if you're keeping loads of clean sheets, it doesn't matter because you need to score goals to win games. And Norwich City have shown that they know where the net is. They've come up here, scored 2 against Chelsea, scored at Anfield, scored 3 against Newcastle. They've got goals in their side. It's not just Pookie. Pookie's getting all the plaudits right now. And that's actually benefiting another couple of players, in my opinion. And I think we're going to experience that on Saturday. All eyes be on Pookie, but it's actually the ones buzzing around about him you need to watch for me. With that in mind, Bez, is there any players that you admire at Norwich City? Anyone you fear for Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Cathcart, he certainly likes to get the ball down and play. That's one good thing about Norwich. They are a footballing side, and they will come to try and play football. And I admire that, all these long ball tacticians, and it just does nothing for me. So, look, I admire the way Norwich play. They do get the ball down. And like you say, they have got goals in them. We shouldn't take things for granted. I mean, on paper, we have got a good squad and we should be comfortably beating teams like this. And like you say, is that the famous last words of comfortably beating sides? It won't be comfortable on Saturday. We all know that here. It will be a struggle. They will come to the ground. They will get at us as much as they've got at Newcastle, Chelsea. They're going to come to win. These sides aren't going to come and try and play for a point. We see the way they play. So, but I just think on paper that if we play a decent side and etc with Haller up front and Lanzini the way he's been playing, I think we should have enough to beat him quite comfortably. But yeah, they got Cathcart. I mean, Krul's an established Premier League goalkeeper, I suppose, isn't he? He played for Newcastle and. Yeah, there are a couple of younger lads that they got. Did they signed? Is Byram there as well?
Sam Byram's there.
Yeah, Byram's there as well. So I mean, he's not he shouldn't be discarded. I mean, whether he starts or not, I don't know. But yeah, they're giving it a go. They're positive, and that's all I can say.
Gonzo, any players from Norwich City you admire or fear for Saturday afternoon?
Well, yeah, you've got to fear Pookie, but he had a very good season in the Championship as well, of course, didn't he? So he's clearly made the transition. Clearly, he can play at both levels, as it were. Cantwell, of course, has started very well, but for me, we talk about the fullbacks, and my favourite one of the two is Max Aarons. He's the player that I want us to try and sign in the summer. I do believe I said to you, Gio, on the phone, didn't I, that if Norwich hadn't have got promoted, then that's who Palace would have gone and got with the money from Wan-Bissaka, or at least some or half of it. I think maybe Norwich getting promoted stopped a few clubs trying to pinch a few of their players. And then that's off the back of, obviously, because everyone's seen the success that James Maddison has had, of course. So, yeah, they've got some decent players, mate. They are going to cause us a lot of bother on Saturday.
Just to counteract Gonzo, to go along with Gonzo, Jamal Lewis is just as good at left back as Max Aarons at right back, in my opinion. Them two are fantastic. And my worry for Saturday, which I'll come on to in a bit, is their strength is our weakness, and that's a worry for me. I think Tribals looked impressive in the Premier League. Cantwell started really well, but it's Buendia, the right winger. It's him I really like. He's had a bit of a slow start to this season, but it's a slow start. He's still got 2 assists. So he's someone that there's a few players from Norwich City I do think if they never came up, they would be in the Premier League anyway this season. There's 4 or 5 of them I think would have got snapped up, and if they go down, I think there's 4 or 5 of them that will stay in the Premier League. So there's good teams all around. Gonzo, just quickly before we move on to West Ham, is Norwich City becoming everyone's second favourite team in the Premier League, do you think? Because I'm getting that vibe a little bit. I think they're sort of like the punchy underdog almost, and people warm to that. It was a bit like Bournemouth when they came up. Everybody likes a team like that.
Yeah, maybe I can't speak for everybody else, so everybody, some people have a second team, or whatever, someone that you might be fond of or whatever. So, obviously, clearly not going to be Tottenham, is it? But yeah, maybe. I think it's hard to have any ill feeling towards Norwich, isn't it? Really, they're sort of, home to, I say town, it's a city, of course, it's Norwich City, but I don't know, yeah, it's nice up there, mate. Nice, up in the up in East Anglia, nice club, mate. Normal, good football club, and we shouldn't, we shouldn't forget that actually there's been a normal, good football club that's gone out of business this week as well. So yeah, good luck to them.
Home game means boats are open. You can get your tickets. The link is in the description. We're open from 12 until 7. So if you fancy a beer or a burger, one of each, two of each, maybe even 4 beers. 4 burgers would be a bit much. You can get your ticket and join us on the boats. All the information about the boats are via the link. So click the link and you'll get all the information there. Get a ticket and join us. The team news for West Ham is obviously Mikel Antonio is out for up to, I believe, to be about 6 weeks. And Abel Hernandez is back from, take your pick. The club are saying groin strain, but apparently he was ill. So there's been a bit of a mystery about his absence over the last couple of games, but he is back for this weekend. However, there's that old myth in football, never change a winning team. We beat Watford 3-1, but we're here to discuss and wait to ask these two if we should indeed make a few changes. And Bez, a few eyebrows have been raised in recent weeks with Diop and Ogbonna starting at the centre back. Would you keep it as that, or would you like to see Balbuena come back in? And if so, who for?
Well, I'm going to be a bit controversial because I went to the Brighton game and I thought Diop played terrible. I absolutely thought he played shocking. Over the period of time we've been getting on Ogbonna's back, and I actually think so far this season Diop has been the weak link. I may be seeing something that other people are not seeing, but going to the games, his distribution, he slipped up in midweek at Newport, and they could have scored quite easily then. I just feel like, I don't know whether it's like he's just not the same guy that we were seeing last year. And one player who our centre backs have always been a controversial point, and they're always like, it's nice to have that. We've got 3 solid ones there, and we can rotate. But I would drop Diop. I'm sorry, but I would drop him, and I would play Ogbonna and Balbuena. I would give them a go just so that we can keep Diop on his toes a little bit, because if they would have scored in midweek from that chance, the game could have changed. And I just feel like, Gonzo was at Brighton as well. Gonzo, you see Diop give the ball away quite a lot of times at Brighton. It was just to keep the ball from the back, and he's woofing it, and it's like, where are you going, mate, with that ball? Just play it simple. But it just seemed like he panicked a little bit. So I would like to see that change. That's just how I would like to see the defence start.
Interesting. Gonzo, just quickly, what would your centre-back pairing for this one be?
I'll go with Diop and Balbuena. I don't disagree with what Bez said there, and he's absolutely right, which is why I said after Brighton it was odd that Ogbonna got all the stick, because actually I thought he was probably the best defender out of the 4. So, but but nonetheless, I still think Diop will come good. I think Diop's the one out of all the 3 defenders who's going to go on and
I hated to say it, Chris. I didn't want to.
No, you're right. I can't argue with anything you said. But yeah, I've got to think that Diop's going to come good again.
I think Bez is right. Diop's probably had there's 2 players disappointed me so far. I know it's only 4 games in, but there's 2 players that disappointed me. Diop and Wilshere. They're the 2 that I think I look at and expected a bit more from. But for this, I would keep it as Diop and Ogbonna. I think Ogbonna deserves to keep his place. Did well against Brighton, and I would just keep Diop in. But it's sort of like one more game. Have a bad game against Norwich, and after the international break, we'll have 2 weeks, and we'll be concentrating on trying to get Balbuena and Ogbonna working together ahead of our next Premier League game, and Diop will sit this one out. Gonzo, right wing. Obviously, we all hoped and expected Mikel Antonio to start, but he's out. So does Yarmolenko start by default, or would you do a curveball? Because you've also got Fornals, who's got his first goal for the club, and you've also got Jack Wilshere if you then want to push Lanzini out to the right.
Yeah, well, more or less that, but I'd put Anderson to the right and Lanzini to the left, and I'm drafting Wilshere into the middle, which I think actually makes us a little bit more solid in the middle as well, because he will probably hold his position a little bit more. I mean, we've seen that a lot of these guys have been interchanging, and I think there's nothing wrong with Lanzini and Anderson switching wings, but I do think if you had Wilshere in the middle, he's not going to start popping up on the wing. And I think if almost our one of our major chances of winning this game is if we can outnumber them in that area. And I think if you had Rice, Noble, and Wilshere, I think it would give us a good base in the middle.
Bez, apart from dropping Diop, is there any other changes to the starting 11 that face Watford that you would like to see?
I mean, I think Antonio getting injured is a big loss. It's going to be a big loss for us. I mean, this season, I don't know. He just seemed to have come on, and although Antonio, being typical Antonio, still missing chances in front of goal, he's just a handful. Like, I don't know. He's just going to have that one chance or create something in a game, and I just think that even if he sat on the bench, it's going to be a big loss. But for me, I would probably start with Anderson on the right and Fornals on the left, keep swapping them. But I would actually drop Wiltshire. I would put Lanzini behind Haller as like an attacking midfielder, get close to him. For me, this season, by a long, long way, Lanzini has been our best player. And I don't know whether that's because the old contract talks, he said he's come out, he wants to stay at West Ham. I have been so impressed with Lanzini. I would put him really close to Haller. I would play Noble and Rice just behind them, and I'd put them two on each wing stretching, and obviously play a 4 at the back. But yeah, that's where I would go with it. I think
Pellegrini's got a free hit here. I think the right wing position allows him to change it up a little bit. I think if Antonio was fit, everybody would have said, well, Antonio's got to start, but now he's not here. Pellegrini's either got Yarmolenko, Wiltshire, and he moves players around like Gonzo suggested. He brings in Fornals. There's a few different things Pellegrini could do here, and I think whatever he does, he's going to escape criticism for, because any one of them is justified. I can see why you would start Fornals. I can see why you would start Jack Wilshere. I can also see why you would just keep Yarmolenko in, because I think he did okay against Watford. It wasn't fantastic, but he did okay. The only thing I think Pellegrini has to consider, our two wide players have to track back on Saturday. If they do not match the runs of Adams and Lewis, they're going to be doubling up on our fullbacks, which is our weakness anyway. So whoever it is he plays out wide needs to get their arse back. You can't counteract that, because those two players do get up the pitch really high, and we've seen against Chelsea managed to exploit that on occasions. When they got the ball, they moved the ball out wide really quickly, and there was loads of room because Norwich's fullbacks were 5-10 yards behind. And that's the key area of the pitch for me. It's out wide. I would have Felipe Anderson on one of the sides. I wouldn't have him in the middle. I think Lanzini works harder than people give him credit for, so maybe go with him on the other side. And then that allows you to either have Fornals or Wiltshire in there. I would personally play Fornals because we spent 25 million on him, and there's got to be a reason. Norwich play 4-2-3-1, so this is a rare opportunity to be able to play 4-2-3-1 and not get outnumbered with our pairing. But Gonzo, if we win on Saturday, 7 points from our opening fixtures, we've won the cup game. Is this a good start to the season?
Will be 3 wins in a row, yeah, of course. Naturally, would be a decent start to the season, yeah.
That's short and witty.
Sorry.
Right, anyway, I'll find out if these two are confident in their score predictions in a minute. But before that, if you were following, we've been doing our betting blog on Clout and Hugh over this course of the season. If you followed it last week, it had 3 winners out of 4 for you. It had a 9-2, 5-2, and evens. So you'd have been quits in. The betting blog is up. The link is in the description ahead of the Norwich game. It's got 4 tips again. 2 bankers, a 7-2 and a 6-1. So go check out. The link is in the description. Bez, are you confident for this one? Because I think you're the most confident out of the 3 of us. So I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I am confident. We've had not a bad start to the season, although we didn't play very well at Brighton. We grinded out a 1-1 draw, and I think we got very lucky. And then from then, I mean, the Watford game, I went at the Watford game and I literally only see a couple of highlights, but it looked like we were in control there. In the week, I've been told we were in control there as well. So it's a positive start to the season. I mean, considering last year we lost our first 4 or 5 games, was it? I'm over the moon. I'm delighted. So, yeah, Delia, let's be having you. That's what I'm all about. Like, and yeah, I'm very confident, mate.
I'll get
Very
your score
confident.
prediction in a minute. Gonzo, how are you feeling? Are you feeling confident?
I'm not quite got the Delia Smith fetish that Bez has, I got to say. No, I'm not confident at all. You've done yourself a favour not seeing that Watford game. Watford, Bez, I tell you, Watford had 23 shots or something ridiculous like that.
Did they really?
Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong by 1 or 2. They had loads. I'm not confident at all, Gio, unfortunately.
Why?
Sorry, I'm like getting blood out of a stone tonight, aren't I?
Come on, elaborate a bit more.
Because I just think they're a really, really good attacking team. I think we start slow. I think the one thing that goes in our favour is actually our form at home under Pellegrini, as he's arrested the slide that we had. So we're okay at home, but not this season. We ain't. And I think we just start so slow. And this Farker sounds so ridiculous, isn't it? This manager of Norwich City, he's one of the new breeds, Gio. These guys are switched on tactically. They're good motivationally with the players, and they know what's going on. And anyone's going to have done their homework. They'll be saying, look, West Ham starts slow. And because of that, they're going to start quick. And it's so hard to be confident when almost the most likely thing that I can see, looking at it sort of statistically, is that we'll go behind very, very early in the game. And I'm just never confident with that.
Yeah, I can understand. I'm not confident either. I'm confident of lots of goals. I'm confident of excitement. I think if I was a neutral, I'd be tuning into this one because it could be end to end, this one. And there's people in the live chat right now with predictions, and there's someone saying 5-4. And the worst thing is, I can't even tell him he's wrong. I can see. I think it's more likely to be 5-4 than 1-0. Put it like that. I think there's just both teams have got questionable defences. Norwich City, as much as we praise them, I don't really like their defence. One of them's Grant Hanley. I've seen him enough times playing for Scotland. They were trying to sell him in the summer. I think he was captain last week. They've had an injury at the back. Godfrey did okay, but Aller should be ripping into that centre back. But at the same time, their fullbacks getting up the pitch and their wide players are just going to have a lot of fun with our fullbacks. I just can't see us coping. We've got off with it. We got off with it against Newport. We got off with it against Watford. We got off with it against Brighton. There's only so long you can sort of rely on the other team missing chances before you take yours. At some point, you've got to create them first, stop their chances. And I just don't see it being this weekend. I don't see what could have changed from playing in Wales on Tuesday night to Saturday afternoon at London Stadium. We haven't become a much more solid defensive side in the space of 4 or 5 days. It just hasn't happened. So Norwich are going to get opportunities, and I think they're going to take at least a couple. I think we're going to have to score at least 2 to get something from this game. But I think Norwich might as well. So with that in mind, Bez, can I have your score prediction, please?
I think it will be 4-1 to the Hammers. I genuinely think we'll score goals. I don't know. We've got a bit of confidence about us at the minute. Okay, we haven't played very well, but I don't know. Come on, lads. Like, feel confident. Like, we're going Saturday. We're going to have a great day. Like, let's feel a little bit like you two are like, oh, I don't feel confident. This is Norwich. Like, if I asked you the same thing last year, what prediction would you have given me? What's changed? Like, I know that they've come to the prep. We should be beating Norwich. Like,
Listen,
I'm going with 4-1. I know you guys ain't going to be nowhere near.
I know I'm speaking for Gonzo here. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm looking forward to my day. I'm
Absolutely.
looking forward to the football. I'm excited to watch the football. It's just the question is, are you confident? But no, I'm not. It doesn't mean I'm not looking forward to it. It doesn't mean that I don't think we should be beating any promoted team, not just Norwich City. I include any side that comes up, and I think most Premier League teams that have been in the Premier League for 3 or 4 consecutive seasons should also be beating teams that have just come up. If not, they've done something wrong in the last 2 or 3 years. But I'm sorry, Bez, I can't be confident. Gonzo, can I get your score prediction, please? And it better be 4-1 or Bez is going to be pissed off.
No, it's not 4-1. It's 3-2.
To us.
Unfortunately. It's not to West Ham.
I'm going to go for my favourite scoreline. Gonzo, what's my favourite scoreline? It's 2-2. I'm going to go for 2-2, but I think it's going to be a very entertaining 2-2. And, when we do the review after, we can, if it is 2-2, we can debate whether 5 points from the opening 4 games is good enough or not. But I just...
Our sober review.
Sorry, Bez, but I've seen us concede far too many chances over the last 3-4 games to people.
Oh, I know. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe someone's put something in my tea.
Drunk. Yeah, it's not the tea. It's not the tea. It was the 5 pints that did it, not the cup of tea. He's blaming the milk.
The problem is Diop's been defending like he's drunk as well, so that's part of the issue. That's why I'm going to go for 2-2. I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. Anyway, you guys at home, if you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Let us know in the comments below what starting 11 you'd like to see. I think Pellegrini's going to name an unchanged 11. I think it'll be the same 11 that faced Watford that starts again on Saturday. Let us know your score predictions as well. Hopefully you're as confident as Bez, otherwise Bez is going to be a bit unhappy with you. We'll be back on Saturday after the game. A couple of hours after the game, we'll have our review up and we'll have a load of fan cams. If you want to do a fan cam with us, you have to come to the boats. And if you're on the boats and you want to do a fan cam, just come up to myself or Gonzo and say, "Oi, I want to do a fan cam." We'll happily interview everybody and anybody and put you up on the YouTube channel. Gonzo will be doing his instant reaction over on the forum channel, which is the quickest probably the quickest video you get from all West Ham YouTube channels. So go over to the forum channel and check it out as well. But anyway, loads of links in the description.
Actually, Gio, before you go, I'm probably going to do a live with Gonzo tomorrow on the forum channel just to get some questions in, and also I've got an offer for somewhere somewhere that's doing pie and mash, somewhere that is doing drinks, a place to eat, drink, and also the first 10 people there get free parking, and it's right in Stratford as well. So I'm going to discuss that on the live with Gonzo tomorrow on the forum channel.
People in the live chat, all my picks, check the links in description. Boats, betting blog, it's all in description. Check out the description. All our links, they're always there. Email address, social media, it's always there. That's been Bez, that's been Gonzo, I've been Jill, we've been Hamish Chat, and we'll see you on Saturday. Catch you in a bit.
Let's be.